Hey, what's up everybody? Joe Simpson here. It has been a long time since I've done any videos, probably close to 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, which is unlike me because I usually do like 2 or 3 a week. So I apologize. It's the end of the year. It's been a long run here at the end of the season. I wanted to do some story time with you guys because I go through and I do these videos, and a lot of times these videos come and go. You never watch them a second time, and it's always good to reflect back on some of the things you've done throughout the year and some of the nice events and occurrences that happen, and you just kind of forget about them. And it's good to go back and look at them and realize and remember like why it is you really like to fish. So I want to start off with the first story about me coming back to fishing about 2.5 years ago. My daughter's friend came over, and he had been fishing in ponds and doing some things like that, and he said, "Hey, Mr. Simpson, you need to go out and do some fishing. You'd really like it if you like to fish." And I said, I used to fish when I was younger, but I'm not sure. So he took me out, and I had a really good time. Got the itch again. So of course I wanted to do some research and get back into the fishing game. So I started going onto YouTube, finding out, hey, what's the best bass lure, And of course, the Whopper Plopper came up over and over and over again with the dramatic blow-ups and all the exciting videos and everything. So of course I had to have one too. So I ordered a Whopper Plopper 130, and it was a perch. And I remember because it felt like a well-executed plan, even though it was more random and lucky than I thought. I bought this lure and I brought it home and I showed my son and I said, "Hey buddy, we're gonna go over. We're gonna go to this pond. We're gonna use this lure and catch a big giant fish. That's how it's gonna go." And he's like, "Okay, Dad." So we were all excited and we went over to our local pond. We got into the location and the spot that we like to cast from, and him and I were sitting there talking and having a good time. And it was kind of late for topwater that day. It was like 10:30, almost 11. Sun was kind of high and it was hot. And I was like, I'm throwing this lure, I don't care. And I had it on a spinning rod, like a 6.5 foot spinning rod with like 20-pound braid, probably all the wrong things. And there was one little floating hydrilla patch out there in the middle of the pond. And I thought, if I was a bass and it was hot, I'd hide there too. So I cast this thing out there. It plops maybe 3 times, 4 times, and it just gets hammered. I mean, it is like the most aggressive topwater strike I think I've had ever. And this fish was going side to side, having its way with me, taking drag, doing all kinds of stuff. It was actually one of the most exciting fish catches of my life. Just so happened to be huge. So I reel this thing in, and it hits the weed bed and gets lodged in the weed bed, and I couldn't get it out. And I literally thought the line was going to break, and I was actually contemplating walking into the water and getting this fish because I could see kind of how big it was. It kind of looked like a football coming through the weeds. And so finally I said, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to let it have some slack and see if it'll swim itself out of the weeds, and then I'll try to pull it over. And sure enough, it cleared and it stayed on the hook, and I brought it over. I don't have any video for this one, but I wanted to share these pictures because it was a pretty exciting catch. And it was kind of a special moment because I told my son, hey, we're going to take this lure to that pond and catch a big fish. And we did exactly that in that sequence. It was awesome. So that was probably my most memorable, most exciting fish catch in the past 2 or 3 years is that one right there. And I don't know, looking at the pictures, I'd say this fish is a good 6'7", somewhere in there. Now I'll let the other guy hold it. You'll see the picture. He's holding it. He's kind of doing the old fish forward trick, and it looks bigger, I think, than it is. But even me holding it up to my body with my son, it looked big. It was a heavy fish. So I didn't have a scale, but I'm going to say my PB is probably like 6.5 pounds, somewhere in there. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that story, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so this next one, I don't even really know how to categorize this other than as I started to get a little bit better at fishing, I was becoming more and more impressed with the fact that I was paying attention to things around me. Used to be when I'd fish, I'd just throw it over here, throw it over there, throw it over here, just wouldn't really pay attention to anything. And in this one, you can very distinctly see out in the water. It was pretty cool. I was fishing off of the same dam that was behind me and my son, that concrete dam. I was standing on top of that, fishing with my Black Loon 110 Whopper Plopper, one of my favorite lures. Not having a ton of luck, trying to stand up there, get out of the weeds and the crap. And I remember fishing up there, and I looked over kind of off to the left, and I'll highlight it for you in the video. There was just a little ring out in the water. And it was different than what I'm used to seeing. It wasn't the bubbles. It wasn't like the obvious bluegill popping the top or anything. This was kind of like you could see something shouldered and moved out there. And I remember thinking, I'm just going to take it, throw it beyond that point, drag it through there to see if there's anything there, and pop. It was a hit. So it was really cool at that point to start realizing, like, hey, you're paying attention. You're actually fishing things that you see, and you're working, you know, basically off of cues and physical attributes going on at the pond. So that was kind of cool. That's I don't know why that's one of my favorites, but it just felt cool to be up there fishing, see something happen, throw it over there, and then catch the fish right in the location where you see the action. So this one was kind of fun to watch. Check it out.
That's about all I can do for whopper plopper very much.
So you'll notice right about here, you can see the ring. It's subtle on the film, but it actually was easier to see from where I was.
Fish. Fish, fellas, and it's a big one. Ooh. It's a big fish. He's gonna come out again. I saw him out there. Yes. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. He might come off, but we'll have to see. All right, another good fish, fellas. Might have been me. Real pretty fish. 1 3/4, almost 2 pounds. Look at that fish, man. What the hell?
So I went to North Carolina to see my mom, and I went down with my brother-in-law. We went to a pond that he has a friend that owns this pond, and he said, oh, there's some literal giants in this pond. And I was like, whatever. So what's really funny is before we caught his fish, I lost my $50 Lee's water chopper in the tree right off the edge of the pond. It was dark when we first started casting, and I mean, I was like so pissed that I lost this lure. And he gets into a fish on a spinning rod with 8-pound test mono on a little trick worm, and oh my god, I had never seen a fish this big in person ever. I mean, this thing was 8 pounds easy, maybe heading towards 9, but we were so shocked by the size of it when I was showing him the photographs. We actually started laughing our butts off. Later, I actually shook the Lee's water chopper out of the tree, so I still have it today. It ended up being a great day of fishing, but I screwed up the camera and I never filmed him catching the fish. I thought it was running. I was like, I have this on tape. I can't believe it. But I hit stop instead of start and got all screwed up. But you can hear me in there apologizing to him. It was a really funny day. And you can just tell by the way we're carrying on and laughing. That fish was a beast. I mean, it was so big. This is definitely one of my favorite fish catches ever that I've witnessed.
It wasn't rolling. Oh my god. Thank God we did that. Sorry, dude. It's okay. I don't know. Oh man. Dude. Look at that fish, man. What the hell?
Okay, now this one sits near and dear to my heart. It took me a long time to get the hang of frog fishing. And even at this point, I still don't think I had quite the hang, so to speak. I had put up a couple videos of me doing some frog fishing and some different hook sets, trying different frogs, doing all kinds of stuff. And I was getting roasted on the comments. People were like, dude, what kind of hook set is that? Why are you going to the side? Go from 6 to 12. Set it as hard as you can. Use 80-pound braid. Do this, do that. Everybody had so much advice. And I remember, like, it all came together. One day before work, I said, all right, I'm going to go fish from 6:30 until 7:30, and then I'm going to head to work. And I went down to this little creek entry to this pond where I love to fish, and I thought, I'm not going to crowd the area because every time I get close, they see me. So I'm going to stand back and cast down the channel and see what I can do. Frickin' amazing, this fish that I pulled out of there. It was like the most textbook, perfect like frog pole, hook set, fish catch ever. I mean, this was epic. For me, it was epic. I know a lot of you guys are like, what's the big deal? It's a 5.5 pound bass, big deal. This thing was chunky and it hit like a ball, and it was so cool. And it was like such relief after catching so much grief from so many people about how bad of a frog fisherman I was. I finally earned my stripes. You know, I was like, caught a huge frogfish. People were like cheering me on. I remember like putting up a post on that video, like, I'd like to thank the Academy, you know, and like thanking all these different people and stuff. So it was very cool. Definitely in my top favorites of fish catches of all time. Definitely. Sprinkler frogs and these other frogs. All right, so my tip's at 6. So anybody's going to criticize me for a side cast or a side set, it might look different on the GoPro, but my rod tip is at 6. That is a big bass, dude. That is a big bass. Look at that. Look at that. He ate it all too. Oh my God. That's on video. That is on video. Turn me up a little more. Look at that. Good morning. Look at that, guys. All right. So you're looking. There's my frog set. I did not wait. I went 6 to 12. This is frickin' frog Shangri-La right here, dude. This is a 5 pound bass. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna try to calm down. I'm gonna try to calm down. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is amazing.
On the ground, I can't help myself lately, can't